दिग्विजयी कैला अपन अधिकार उत्तम तो उधर तो ज्यादा गर्म है नहीं उधर नींद ऐसे पूरा रेजाई जैसे लगছে ना.
So we were listening yesterday about how Mahaprabhu defeated to Keshava Kashmir. So that is Chaitanya Charitamrta, the Lila 16th chapter.
রাত্রি প্রভুর শিষ্যগণ সঙ্গে বসিয়াছেন গঙ্গা তীরে বিদ্যার প্রসঙ্গে হেন কালে দিগ্বিজয়ী তাহে আইলা গঙ্গারে বন্দবন্দন করি প্রভুরে মিলিলা বসাইল তারে প্রভু আদর করিয়া দিগ্বিজয়ী মনে করে মনে অবজ্ঞা করিয়া व्याकरण पढ़ाओ निमाई पंडित तुम्हार नाम बाल शास्त्री लोके तुम्हार कहे गुणग्राम व्याकरण मध्य जानी पढ़ाओ कला सुनिलो फांकिते तुम्हार शिष्यर संलाप प्रभु कहे व्याकरण पढ़ाई अभिमान करे शिष्यते ना बुझे आमी बुझाइते नारी लोग श्रवण कर रहे थे.
So we are listening about Keshava Kashmir and Digvijay Pandit. When they came to Mahaprabhu, when Keshava Kashmir came to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was at the bank of the Ganges with his devotees sitting there. And then Mahaprabhu gave so much honor to Digvijay Pandit, to this Keshava Kashmir. But Keshava Kashmir, he was dishonoring Mahaprabhu. Why? He said, "Oh, you only studied the Shastra of, kids. I will not sit with you to debate Shastra. I'm so powerful. And how can I sit with someone who is only studying Vyakaran, like Sanskrit grammar, like this? So you only study Vyakaran, like Sanskrit grammar. So people call you Pandit, Nimai Pandit and all. Means you're not qualified to be Pandit. Digvijay Pandit, in his mind, he was thinking like this. But your disciples, your followers, they have so much attachment to you. So Mahaprabhu humbly he said, I study only Vyakaran, like Sanskrit grammar, but even I don't understand exactly the Sanskrit grammar. My students also, they don't understand. I don't even know what exactly I teach or I study. So Mahaprabhu told, is it true that you are a great Pandit? And I am just a young, new, like I'm just ignorant. I don't have any knowledge. But so I studied the Shishu Shastra, the Shastra like of kids.
सुनिया प्रभुर बहुत सत्कार तुमासन पृथ्वीते कवि नहीं यार
So Mahaprabhu humbly, he started glorifying him. Well, tell me some of the glories of the Ganges. Then this Digvijay Pandit, so quickly, just like a storm, he just started to describe the glories of the Ganges. No, just like when there's like a hurricane or something, then the wind blows so strongly that uproots everything and destroys everything. So in the same way, this Pandit, the Vijay Pandit, he was speaking all these slokas so quickly, so quickly. And listening to these verses, Mahaprabhu was so pleased and said, "Oh, very beautiful. You're a great Pandit." So nobody was born like no one is born in this world some like you. No one is as like you. But who can understand this verse you're saying? You know this verse you told, and also Saraswati Devi also knows. She's the presiding deity of the knowledge, so she also knows. So if mercifully you could tell me the meaning of one of your shlokas, I would be happy. So you please describe your own verses. So Digvijay Pandit said, which shloka you want to listen the meaning? Digvijay Pandit was thinking, I spoke this shloka so quickly, just like a storm, like a hurricane. It's not possible for a human being to speak so many shlokas. I mean, to memorize so many shlokas so quickly and to remember all of them. So he was so proud and so puffed up. This Keshava Kashmir, he told, which shloka you want to hear? So one of these 1,000 shlokas, Mahaprabhu just quoted one of them. So, verse 41, chapter 16. The greatness of Mother Ganges always brilliantly exists. She is the most fortunate because she emanated from the lotus feet of Sri Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. She is a second goddess of fortune, and therefore she is always worshipped, both by demigods and by humanity. Endowed with all wonderful qualities, she flourishes on the head of Lord Shiva. So this word is here, Bhavani Bhartu. So endowed with all wonderful qualities, she flourishes on the head of Lord Shiva. So this recitation of this slok, Mahaprabhu told. Listening to this, the Digvijay Pandit, he was amazed. So he said, I recited all the verses like the blowing wind, just like a cyclone or some hurricane or something. So I spoke all the verses so quickly, just like a cyclone, quickly like blowing wind. And how could you completely learn by heart even one among those verses? So Mahaprabhu indicated saying, by the grace of the Lord, someone may become a great poet, and similarly, by his grace, someone else may become a great Shrutidhar, who can memorize anything immediately. So Mahaprabhu told, you have the mercy of Saraswati, that's why you can also speak so many verses. So maybe somebody also has the mercy of Saraswati, and then the person can memorize many verses. So what is the big deal? So the brahmana, he became satisfied listening to this statement of Mahaprabhu. And then the Lord Mahaprabhu said, now kindly explain the special qualities and faults in this verse. So the Brahmana replied, there's not a tinge of fault in that verse. What speak of a fault? There's not even the smell of a fault. Because this Digvijay Pandit, he had so much confidence, not that like I created this verse, but he was thinking, Saraswati, she created this verse and she can never be in fault. She'll never make any mistakes. So he said, rather it has the good qualities of similes and alliteration. So you know what is Upama Alankar? Upama Alankar is, for example, when you do some comparison. Like you say, somebody's face is just like the moon. So this is one comparison you're making. Anupras Alankar is another kind of thing of poet, like, you know, some kinds of things you can say, you can use in the language. It's alliteration. I think it's when you repeat many things. Repeat the terms. So Mahaprabhu humbly, he told, if you give me permission, and if you won't become angry, so Mahaprabhu told, if you allow me, then I can tell some of the meaning of your verse according to the Sanskrit grammar. I can tell the faults and the mistakes and the qualities. So Digvijay Pandit told, okay, but tell me, you never study the Alankar Shastra, means the arts of literary embellishments. So one thing is Shabda Alankar and Artha Alankar. So you never studied the Shastras, scriptures which describe the arts of literary embellishments. So this Keshava Kashmir, he was putting Mahaprabhu in a insignificant position and like not dishonoring him. You only study Vyakaran grammar, but you don't have any knowledge of the Vyakaran of the Alankara Shastra. If you have knowledge of Alankara Shastra, then you could tell something about my shlok. So what will you know about the poetical language? So Mahaprabhu humbly he told, what you're saying now, it's true. I never studied Alankara Shastra, but I've heard something about it. But I've heard about it from higher circles, and thus I can review this verse and find in it many faults and many good qualities. So Mahaprabhu humbly he told, if you won't become angry, so I found 5 faults and 5 qualities in your verse. I can tell you. Please listen, Mahaprabhu saying. So you can think about it. You're a great Pandit. So you can judge by yourself. Give your judgment. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Avamrishta Videyamsha occurs twice. And Virudhamati, also the faults of Virudhamati, Bhagnakrama and Punarata. They occur once each. So, so you told about the second Lakshmi, Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi. So use the word Bhavani Bharta. So in this verse, actually, in this word, you're using one kind of fault. Bhavani means the wife of Mahadev. Here's another great fault. Bhava means Shivaji, and his wife is Bhavani, the wife of Shiva. So Bhavani means Parvati and Bhatri means husband. So if you say Bhavani Bharta, so it means that there's another husband. The word Bhavani means the wife of Lord Shiva, but when we mention her husband, one might conclude that she has another husband. Because when you say Bhavani, already means Parvati. But you said Bhavani Bharta.
शिव पत्नी भट्टा या सुनते विरुद्ध विरुद्ध मतिकृत शब्द शास्त्र नहीं शुद्ध ब्राह्मण पत्नी भट्टा हस्ते देवदान शब्द सुनी विद्या भट्टा जन ब्राह्मण पत्नी भट्टा ये शब्द नहीं बनता है। ब्राह्मणी कहने से ही ब्राह्मण की पत्नी हो जाता है।
So when you say Brahmani, you already mean the wife of the brahmana. So if you say like this, it looks like she has another. If you say Brahmani's husband, because Brahmani already means the wife of a brahmana. So if you say Brahmani's husband, means it looks like she has another husband. So one kind of literary embellishment. Alankar.
10 अलंकारे यदि एक श्लोक হয় एक दूसरे सब अलंकार হয় सुंदर शरीर जैसे भूषणे भूषित एक श्वेत पुष्टे जैसे करे विदित एक सुंदर शरीर के यदि अलंकार के द्वारा भूषित कर दिया।
So if you cover a body with so many ornaments, but suppose this body has that disease, I forgot English name, where you have so many like spots, white spots on your skin, you know, like changing the color of your skin, you know. So this body won't be pretty. So Alankar Shastra explains like that.
शब्द अलंकार 3 अर्थ अलंकार शब्द अलंकारे 3 पादी होचे अनुप्रास અને એક અક્ષર બાર-બાર આજને.
So alliteration is to say again and again the same kind of sound.
प्रथम चरणे पंचम तो कालीरपत तो पंचम चरणे ये प्रथम चरणे तो तोकारेर पाती द्वितीय चरणे হয় पंचरी श्लोक जो महत्तम गंगायाम तोकार हो गया सतत.
So the verse is saying alliteration. Ta. This alliteration means repeating again and again the same kind of sound. So in this verse, the ta is being repeated. So in the arrangement of the first line, the letter ta occurs 5 times. In the arrangement of the third line, repeats the letter ra 5 times. Although the words Shri and Lakshmi convey the same meaning and are therefore almost redundant, they are nevertheless not redundant.
पुनरुक्त भाषी कही नहे श्रीयुक्त लक्ष्मी अर्थेर विविध
The use of the words Lakshmi Eva, like Lakshmi, manifests the ornament of meaning called Upama analogy. There is also the further ornament of meaning called Virodhabhasa, or a contradictory indication. Because when you say Shri, already you indicate Lakshmi. And then you say Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi. So this is also a little bit faulty according to the Alankar.
দ্বিতীয় চরণে হয় পঞ্চরেব স্থিতি, চতুর্থ চরণে চারিত ফকার প্রকাশ, অতএব শব্দ অলঙ্কার অনুপ্রাস শ্রী শব্দে লক্ষ্মী শব্দে এক উক্ত है পুনরুক্ত বদাভাসে নাহি পুনরুক্ত শ্রীযুক্ত লক্ষ্মী অর্থের অর্থের বিভেদ পুনরুক্ত বদাভাসে শব্দ অলঙ্কার লক্ষ্মীর অর্থ অলঙ্কার উপমা প্রকাশ আর অর্থ অলঙ্কারে আছে নাম বিরোধাভাস লক্ষ্মী রিব लक्ष्मी के भांति अर्थ अलंकार।
So Lakshmi Riva means like Lakshmi.
नाम विरोधाभास हो जाता है, विरोधाभास अलंकार जैसे कहते हैं गंगाते कमल जन्मे।
Everyone knows that the lotus flowers grow in the water of the Ganges, but to say that the Ganges takes birth from a lotus flower seems extremely contradictory.
तुम कमल में गंगा जल गंगा
So the water of Ganges manifests. So it's contradictory if you say that the existence of Mother Ganges begins from the lotus flower. No, sorry. So everyone knows that lotus flower grow in the water of the Ganges, but to say that the Ganges takes birth from a lotus flower seems extremely contradictory. So verse 79, chapter 16. But sometimes the Virodha Alankar, this contradictory Alankar, can be accepted. For example, no, the feet of Lord are similar to a lotus flower, and the Ganges comes from the feet of Lord, which is like a lotus flower.
चरण के साथ संबंध होने के नाते और उसके तो हम स्वीकार कर लेते हैं, जैसे भगवान
So we accept because it has a relation to Lord. For example, the Ganges come from the feet of Lord.
ये तो स्वीकार है.
So this we can accept. It's acceptable. Do you understand? So Ganges manifests from
भगवान की कमल चरण से कहा दिया,
from the lotus feet of Lord.
चरण कमल से कहते हो जाता, किंतु कमल से गंगा उत्पत्ति नहीं होता, केवल यदि.
But the Ganges doesn't come from the lotus. Because everybody knows that actually the lotus flower grow in the water of the Ganges. But to say that the Ganges takes birth from a lotus flower seems extremely contradictory. But in your verse, it's saying that the Ganges comes from the lotus feet of Lord. Yes, this we accept. So this is possible for Lord Bhagavan.
ईश्वर अचिंत शक्ति गंगा प्रकाश है, यह विरोधाभास नहीं, यह विरोध नहीं, किंतु विरोधाभास.
So this is not actually contradictory, but is one kind of fault of virodhabhas, like a little bit contradiction.
जली पद्म जन्मे, पानी में पद्म.
So the lotus manifests in the water.
जल की उत्पत्ति नहीं होता है.
But
विषय यह है ये भगवान की.
But the lotus is not the origin of the water. But from the feet of Lord, lotus feet of Lord, then this water of the Ganges manifests. This is true. You can say that. The real glory of Mother Ganges is that she has grown from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Such a hypothesis is another ornament called Anuman. You have achieved poetic imagination and ingenuity by the grace of your worshipful demigod, but poetry not well reviewed is certainly subject to criticism. Poetic skill used with due consideration is very pure, and with metaphors and analogies it is dazzling. After hearing the explanation of Mahaprabhu, the champion poet was struck with wonder. His cleverness stunned. He could not say anything. So before Mahaprabhu glorified him, and then Mahaprabhu showed all his faults of his slokas. So listening to that Pandit, Keshava Kashmir, he became so upset. He wanted to speak something, but he even couldn't say anything. So in his mind he was thinking, Keshava Kashmir was thinking, Devi Saraswati, certainly she's angry with me because I'm being defeated by this young boy. Really, Suddha Saraswati, she came in the lotus mouth of Mahaprabhu and spoke the shloka. Actually, who is Suddha Saraswati? Srimati Radhika. And the Saraswati which is in the throat of the Panditas is which kind of Saraswati? Jara Prakriti Saraswati, Saraswati of this material world, material nature. So both had Saraswati with them. Mahaprabhu had Saraswati with him, Shuddha Saraswati. Like the Mool Prakash of his Swarupa Shakti. So the Pandit was thinking in his mind, I'm surprised. Nimai Pandit never studied these Shastras about embellishments like the Alankar Shastra. How did he know all this? Hearing this and understanding the Pandit's heart, Mahaprabhu replied in a humorous way. Because actually Pandit didn't say anything, he was only thinking about this in his mind. Nimai doesn't read Alankar Shastra, only Vyakaran, so how could he say all these things? But Mahaprabhu knows everything, and knowing his heart, Mahaprabhu told. Mahaprabhu told, I don't know what is good or bad. I'm just saying what Saraswati told me. Which Saraswati told Mahaprabhu? Shuddha Saraswati. So listen to this. Digvijay Pandit, he told. So Devi made me be defeated by one small boy. So imagine somebody just crossed a great ocean and then the person just drowns in a small river. I mean, the person's ship sink. Like imagine a person has a boat and then the person crossed so many waves and so much a great ocean and everything. And then when the person finally she reached a small river, and in this small river his boat or ship sinks in such a small river. So what is the meaning? He was thinking, oh, I've defeated so many Pandits and Nimai. I'm being defeated by this young boy who studies Sanskrit grammar. Okay, to defeat is not a problem, but to be defeated by whose hands? I want to be defeated by great Pandits. It's not proper for me to be defeated by just a small kid. So the Pandita was thinking like this. So I'll go to Devi Sarasvati today and I'll worship her and I'll ask her, why did you make me be defeated by this young boy, and why did you make me be insulted like that? Why did you make me insulted by like that? So when Mahaprabhu defeated Keshava Kashmir, all the disciples of Mahaprabhu started clapping and laughing loudly. But listening to this, Mahaprabhu told to his disciples, don't laugh. You are the most learned scholar and the topmost of all great poets, for otherwise how could such fine poetry come from your mouth? So Mahaprabhu told his disciples, don't make fun of him. He's a great Pandit. We shouldn't insult him or make fun of him. So, how can you insult an honorable person? If you dishonor an honorable person, it's like death for this person, like death for him. So don't make fun of him. Mahaprabhu told to his followers. Mahaprabhu prohibited them to do that. Then Mahaprabhu again started to glorify to Keshava Kashmir. You are the most learned scholar and the topmost of all great poets, for otherwise how could such fine poetry come from your mouth? You're not an ordinary person. So Mahaprabhu was glorifying him. So Mahaprabhu told, there were other, even in the poetic compositions of such great poets as Bhavabhuti, Jayadev and Kalidas, there are many examples of faults. So Mahaprabhu is saying there were other great poets like Bhavabhuti, Jayadev Gosvami, Kalidas, and even they also in their poetry, there are many examples of faults. So all the great poets in this world, they use so many alankar and everything, but still there is some fault. Understand? In their writings. What is the meaning? So Mahaprabhu wants to say, look, for the conditioned soul, always they will have Brahma Pramada, Karanapatava and Vipralipsa. Somehow the Padajivas, they always have this. So whatever you did, like this kind of faults or it's nothing, no problem. It's normal. So Jayadeva is the transcendental poet. So how possible he has some fault in his poetry? Because here he's saying, okay, Bhavabhuti, he's a Jivatata poet, and Kalidas also Jivatata. But why the name of Jayadev is here? Uttam, tell me.
भगवती जयदेव और कालिदास तांसवर कवित्वेर হয় दूसरे प्रकाश। ये शब्द क्यों लिखा?
So why is saying?
कवित्व के दोष क्या है?
What is the fault of the poetry of Jayadev Goswami?
उत्तम बताओ।
Uttam, tell me.
हम तो सब समय कहते हैं जयदेव,
because we always say that Jayadev is a transcendental poet, isn't it? Vidyapati, Jayadev, they're not ordinary. They are eternal associates of Lord, actually. They are not Badajivas. Uttam, what do you think about it? Tell me some opinion. What do you think? Okay, Bhavabhuti and Kalidas, we accept they have some faults because they have the blessing of Saraswati, but it's not Suddha Saraswati, it's this Devi Saraswati. They have the blessing of only Devi Saraswati. But why the name of Jayadev Goswami is here? So this is verse 101, chapter 16. So Mahaprabhu told, I'm just a boy, I'm like so restless. So I'm not, Mahaprabhu told, I'm not even fit to be your disciple. Therefore, kindly do not take seriously whatever childish impudence I have shown. Please go back home, and tomorrow we may meet again, so that I may hear discourses on the Shastra from your mouth. In this way, both the poets and the Mahaprabhu went back to their homes, and at night the poet worshipped Mother Saraswati. So he called her by a mantra. The Panditji called the Devi. He's Bhagavan. So I am a servant of these gods. How can I just come in front of him? Saraswati Devi told to Keshava Kashmir. But you are so fortunate that got the association of Nimai Pandit. So Devi Saraswati told to him, tomorrow early in the morning, go to Nimai and surrender completely to him. He will give you mercy.
Bhagavanta Digvijayi Safala Jivan Vidya bole pailo Mahaprabhu Charan. Keshav Lila Varnyache Vrindavan Das Yekuchu Kohilata Vishesha Prakash.
So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, this Lila of Digvijay Pandit, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura has described all these incidents elaborately in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I have only presented the specific incidents he has not described. So early in the morning, Keshava Kashmir, he came and He prayed for forgiveness. He prayed Mahaprabhu to forgive him, and Mahaprabhu told him, Uttam, do you know this verse of Chaitanya Bhagavat? What is the fruit of knowledge? If we put our mind in Krishna, like if we concentrate our mind in Krishna, this is the fruit of knowledge. So the fruit of knowledge, not only to defeat others and get name, fame, and reputation, no. Like the Mana Shiksha explains, Lava, Puja, and Pratishta, name, fame, and reputation, is just like the stool of a pig. Swapacharamani means just like a dog eater lady. So someone who eats and cooks dog flesh is called swapach. So all this name, fame, reputation of this world is just like a dog eater woman. So that's why Raghunath Goswami says, because how can we attain Shuddha Bhakti? If we have this desire for Pratishta, it's not possible. Sorry, so that's why Mahaprabhu told him, you must give up this material pride. So yeah, it's necessary Vidya knowledge, but why? For what? To establish Shuddha Bhakti. Then it's necessary knowledge. But if you didn't practice Shuddha Bhakti and didn't study Shuddha Bhakti, but you are only with your material senses, material knowledge, actually you are defeating others with your knowledge, then you get so much name, fame, and reputation. What is the benefit of it? Nothing. It's useless. So Mahaprabhu is saying, hey Brahmana, give up all this and do bhajan of Lord. Sakal means very quickly. Give up all this. All this name, fame, reputation, all these people who are coming with you, these elephants, these horses. What is the benefit of all this? You not get any fruits. Defeating everyone everywhere, and oh, you're Maha Pandit, you're some learned scholar, everybody gives honor and respect to you. Nothing will stay with you. If you didn't do Krishna bhajan, everything is useless. Knowledge is good, Vidya is good, but you have to use in the service of Lord, then it's good. Knowledge is good. So when you should have Shastra Gyan? Like you should use Shastra Gyan to cut the philosophy of Advaitavadis, like Jayadev Gosvami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad. They were not ordinary, not at all. They are such great learned and scholars. Especially he who defeated such great Pandits like Baladeva, Vidyabhusana Prabhu. So he went to Galta Pahar to this place, and then he defeated so many great scholars and Pandits there. And then he really rose the flag of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. If Baladeva Vidyabhusana hadn't gone to that assembly, this pure conception of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas would be hidden by now or would be lost. So now we go to Jaipur and we see Jaipur with Srimati Radhika in the altar. But if Baladeva Vidyabhusana wouldn't exist or wouldn't come in this world, who would be with Govinda Devi in the altar, Rukmini, Satyabhama or Lakshmi, but not Srimati Radhika? But Baladeva Vidyabhusana Prabhu, he, with the knowledge of the scriptures, he defeated so many Panditas and all. So yeah, it's good. But to defeat the Advaitavadis, that's why it's good. It's good to have knowledge of the scriptures, but you have to know how to use it. So to have a gun is not bad, but how to use a weapon, this depends on that. It depends on that. For example, if a gun, you can point it to the sky and make a noise, and you can like make a lion go away. Or maybe also with a gun, you can also kill an innocent person, and it's very bad. So, how to use the knowledge? So where the mayavadis are preaching, go to these places and defeat them. And establish Shuddha Bhakti. Isn't it? So Mahaprabhu, like our acharyas and Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakura, etc. So when there were great assemblies amongst the brahmanas and vaishnavas, even a book was written. Which one? What's the name of the book? Brahmana Vaishnava Vijay Grantha, the name of the book. It's in Bengali. It's in Bengali language. Actually, this katha, like Javadharma also explains, who is highest? Who is higher, Brahmana or Vaishnavas? Really, this actually was things that happened with Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Midnapur. Because people from Midnapur, they are very like, they think a lot, but they're also like very hard to change opinion. People read Shastra, but they don't know exactly the meaning of Shastra, but they're so strict. Or Katarbadi, you know? Means persons who they just want to establish their own conceptions and philosophies, not, you know, just, so this is called Katarvadi. So all of them, they were preaching in Midnapur, like Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada and all. So you can be a brahmana just by putting sacred thread on someone's neck. They used to say, even you put the sacred thread on a donkey, or if you put on the head of a donkey tilak, and then you put kantimal in a donkey, and you put a thread on a donkey, does this mean that the donkey became a brahmana or a vaishnava? The donkey will always be a donkey. So they used to say like this. So the Katarvadis think, oh, the son of a brahmana is also a brahmana only. Oh, a son of a brahmana. So the wife of a brahmana is called Brahmani. The wife of Shudra is called Shudrani. Isn't it? How do you call the wife of Shudra? Shudrani. The wife of Brahmana? Brahmani. No, the wife of a Shudra won't be called a Brahmani. So if some lady marries a Brahman, then she's called Brahmani. But if she didn't marry a Brahmana, she married a Shudra, so how can she be called a Brahmani? Isn't it? So they give this kind of evidence. So what have I said? The wife of Shudra is called Shudrani. The wife of Kshatriya is called Katriyani. So they give this kind of example. But the donkey always remains a donkey. So with these kind of questions they have there. But Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, he cut all these philosophies. So if you go to Bengal, you can find these people, these Katarvadi. They just start making crazy questions. Oh, what is the name of the 14th Purush? And they search these answers, and then they'll ask, oh, what is the name and the father of that person and the great-grandfather? And in Bhagavata also, you know, you see in the Bhagavata, there are so many stories in the Bhagavata, and all these 14 Purushas and 14, like, I don't know, generations or many different people. So they'll ask you, what is the name of the father of the father of the father of the father of Draupadi? What is all her dynasty? They'll ask some things like this. And like some like crazy questions also, like a little bit so they ask some crazy questions that actually have no relation with bhakti. Also relating to Bal Sampradaya. What is the difference if you know the name of the father of this person or that person? You're just losing your time. Okay, tell me about your own family. How many generations in the past do you know their names? Not even these you know. So how many forefathers' name do you remember? Tell me, from your family. Do you remember the name of your father? Yes. Your grandfather also, you remember his name. But the great-grandfather, we don't even know if you remember the name of your great-grandfather. But after that, like before that, then of course you don't know. But they are searching the Shastra and they're finding his answers, and then they're challenging you. So what is the fruit of the knowledge? What? Okay. So you establish the proper Siddhanta and cutting the philosophy of the Mayavadis. So for this you need the Vidya, the knowledge. Who is a Brahmana, who is a Vaisnava and all. So Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada established it. Just like I told. Oh, just because you give mantra diksha to someone, this person becomes a Vaishnava. You must be born in a Brahmana family, then you become a Brahmana. But you were not born in a Brahmana family, do you think you became a Brahmana? This person continues being a donkey. And you're saying this person is a Vaishnava. But Prabhupada, he showed so many logic of the scriptures against this philosophy. You can be born in any kind of dynasty. If you have the qualities of a Brahmana, then you are a Brahmana, like in Bhagavad Gita explains. The person becomes a brahmana according to the karma and the qualities, activities and qualities. That's why Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada told about daiva varnashram. So all this caste conception, and so we see that even a person who is born as a Shudra can be like high, because it doesn't matter like where you're born, but your activities, it's superior, like what do you do. So maybe you're a brahmana and you're doing bad things, so you're not considered a brahmana. Maybe somebody was born in low family, but the person has the quality of being a brahmana, so this person is a brahmana then. So in Gaudiya Kantahar, all this is explained about ashram, tata, etc. Quoting the Puranas, the Bhagavatam, etc. Who is a brahmana? Who is a Vaishnava?
तो इस प्रकार जो महाप्रभु भी उनके कहा ऐसे कभी पूरे छाई है जंजाल ये ब्राह्मण ये सब लाभ पूजा दिग्विजय को छोड़ दो.
So Mahaprabhu told to give up all this learning, like this name, fame, reputation, and all this. Quickly, just do Krishna bhajan. Otherwise, you cannot get the proper fruits of the knowledge.
Chaitanya Gosvami Lila, Amriter Dhar, Sarve Indra Tripti Hoy, Sravane Jahar, Sri Raghunath Padijar As, Chaitanya Charitamrta, Kahi Krishna Das.
So like that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's ending this chapter and is entering the 17th chapter, Vanchakoptarubhyascha. Okay, let's do the Tulasi Arati now.